feel really sorry for this calathea. This is the second calathea that I've had. The first one wasn't watered, so it died. I did try to revive it, but it didn't work. I've been keeping it in like everyone's area, so it's not all on me. But it's my plant, and I keep forgetting to water it. I like cacti. No, I've killed cacti before. You can kill a cacti by overwatering it, because you go, oh, it's fine. And it's not fine. Vietnam. I love Vietnam. In retrospect, I really love Vietnam. And this, to give a bit of context, is besides the fact that we were staying in Ho Chi Minh City, had booked a hotel and then had it be really, really dodgy because they were like, oh no, you have to cancel the booking that you made with your official booking provider. We'll do it for you direct. And that was a really hard conversation because when they've got you in a place and they're like, oh, you know, we want to get a higher booking fee, you feel really unsafe. It's really, really, like, I didn't think that I would do it, but when you feel your safety is at risk, you do a lot of things that you don't think you're going to do. I don't feel good about it, but I chose my safety. I mean, I don't know whether they would have done anything, but I wasn't taking the risk. Anyway, very much liked Vietnam. The other issue is just turning to a rant about Vietnam. The other issues were the motorbikes, because it got to Green Man. Nobody cared. You had to step out into the traffic and just trust you would be okay. Vietnam was an event. It was also very hot outside. You couldn't go for a walk. That sounds weird, right? But it's so hot, you just don't want to leave. You're like, oh, I'll stay in the AC, thank you very much. It's a different environment. You learn a lot about yourself from these different environments. But in retrospect, fantastic place. Very different culturally. Not a lot of things on the internet. So you try to Google things and you go, oh, what's the best restaurant? And blah, blah, blah. You get all the tourist ones. You don't get the genuine ones. It's really good being out of your comfort zone. To focus, the point of today's video is about dresses and clothing in general. So Vietnam, if you don't know, is one of the places that a lot of clothing is made. The reason is that wage and living standards are a lot different from the Western world. The reasons for that are there are a lot of laws in the West, some of which are arguably unnecessary, but they also protect people, but also because of general economic imbalances, such as balance of currencies, all that sort of thing. Knowing that you can get things tailored in Vietnam at a lower rate, we looked into getting clothes made. I was in two minds about this because part of me says some of the clothes I'm buying are from Vietnam anyway, even when I'm buying them hypothetically through ethical shops. So they're probably going to get a similar payment for my one-off item than they would if I'd bought the same thing, you know, through a big company. But equally, I'm only doing one order. So does that mean that they are at a loss because they're not able to do a bigger order? On the flip side, I'm still part of the problem, part of the imbalance. If you're paying somebody fairly, it's not like nothing. It's not a couple of quid for a load of clothes. It's not that much of an imbalance, and it shouldn't be. We were living very much on, we have to spend as little as possible because we have to make the small pot that we have survive until we get back home and we get jobs again. That was the mindset that I had coming into this. Having said that, we also wanted to experience the culture of the tailoring industry in Vietnam. It was absolutely fascinating. There are markets in Ho Chi Minh City that you can go to and buy fabrics. They are an experience. I was not prepared for this because you go into the markets, tourist me goes, I want to document everything. I want to film all of this. But the reality is that when you go into the markets, they go, you're a Western tourist. You've got a bit of money, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Therefore, I'm going to try to attract you to my stall. I don't know if it's just being British, being unprepared, trying to be polite and being an absolute wimp, but I was not very good in this situation. As soon as people started going, come over here, I kind of started running past them. So it did the opposite to what they wanted, because they wanted to attract me to look at their stuff and then, you know, do a hard sell. And it was fair enough. I need a softly catch your monkey type thing. Yeah, I couldn't do that very well. You cannot expect a hot country to have everywhere air conditioned. That number one rule. Because it wasn't air conditioned, I was hot and uncomfortable and freaking out. Yeah, like that was me in that market. You got your phone out. I was going, oh my God, it's going to get nicked. It probably wasn't going to get nicked, but it is better to be safe than sorry. There were mounds upon mounds of fabric. It was an utter experience. There was a bit of a translation issue. Should not go into somebody else's country and expect them to speak your language. However, the Google Translate app wasn't working very well. People were speaking to us a lot in English because we look like Western tourists, which we are. The younger generation was able to maybe talk to us a little bit more. The older generation got the younger generation over and kind of was like, can you do the hard seller here, please? And we were there with our phones out going, is this cotton or is it polyester? We were told that things were definitely cotton. Pretty sure that a fair number of those are polyester. If you're looking for something really, really specific, don't expect to have that conversation really clearly, because unless you speak Vietnamese or have an amazing translation app, it's just not going to work. Hello, do you have anything to say? She doesn't like me talking about the time when I was away. I don't like it either. I missed you. Having said that, we did go back to a variety of markets a couple of times. Each time we went, it became a little bit more like, okay, this is what to expect. We did go to the main central market. It wasn't as good as some of the markets on the outskirts. I did smell durian as well. Didn't smell that bad to me. So I can go into the market and go, oh yeah, that is quite a pungent thing. Doesn't smell awful. So that's interesting. Didn't realise I'd find that out. We went to these markets. We chose some fabrics. Eventually I managed to get over myself. They have really, really nice fabrics. I got some very, very pretty lace, and Francis got some very good suit materials. It was a fair price for it. We probably overpaid. If you were a local, you probably pay slightly lower price. I know that there's some things about an imbalance locally and that sort of thing. I can't be mad about it. If I'm happy to pay that price and they've charged me that, that's just a trade. That's how it used to happen back in the old days. I had a lot of time in Vietnam to myself to work out whether it was worth spending some of our limited funds on a tailor. I got some really varying quotes because I was like, oh, you know what, I'm all right at sewing. I've not yet been able to make something that hasn't fallen apart. So I was like, you know what, maybe I should get somebody who actually knows what they're doing to sort me out in the short term. I searched on Tinternet and I was quoted a couple of £100 for making a skirt with fabric I'd already bought, and that was not a price I was prepared to pay. That was, to me, very obviously marked up for like, oh yeah, Western tourists coming here having an experience type situation. That was not what I was looking for. I was looking to pay a fair price for something that I couldn't do very well. I had 2 projects for me, one of which was a skirt, and I made that skirt and I posted it on the channel, and I haven't worn it since because I haven't done the underskirt and the sewing is not amazing, so I'm just worried it's going to fall apart. I need to get my head out of my peach, not swearing in front of the baby, and understand how to work a sewing machine, because I have 2 sewing machines. I have a modern sewing machine, like a plug-in one, that I'm scared of because I just don't know how to work it. And I also paid a tenner on Gumtree to buy a Victorian sewing machine that you kind of just like spin, because that seemed less stressful than something that you plug in. And I haven't been able to use that either. I haven't spent very long in it, but it scares me. And Francis keeps saying, you need to learn how to use it. I'm like, yeah, but it's quite scary. This is a me problem. I am fully aware of it. Anyway, point is, I put a lot of time into sewing that skirt and it looks really pretty, apart from the fact that it needs more than just a running stitch or whatever stitch I use in the end to to make it wearable. Because I'd had that experience, I had all this beautiful lace and I was going into my I'm just about to get married era, and I just wanted a pretty dress for it. And that was actually from a shop on the way to the market. So that was a good purchase. It was on the more expensive side for fabric, but I was like, this is pretty and it's silk and I trust it because this is the silk shop. Silk is also quite a big thing in Vietnam, so it felt appropriate. And technically, a dress compared to that skirt that I made is not actually that tricky. I just don't want to ruin it. We found a tailor with really good reviews in the middle of Ho Chi Minh City, actually near the market and near the hot chocolate shop. And that chocolate shop is amazing. Even though it feels really weird going to a hot climate and going to a hot chocolate shop, no regrets at all. It's delicious. I'm going to stop daydreaming about it. She's around the corner from the hot chocolate shop. When we went there to just spec it out, there was a Western guy who just had a load of suits fitted, and he was like, yeah, this is the best tailor in Ho Chi Minh City. She seemed fair enough, and she quoted prices that were absolutely fine. We ended up getting France's suit and waistcoat and trousers, my lace and silk concoction made into a really pretty dress there. Now, was it one of those situations where you really, really connect with somebody and they make something absolutely perfect very first time? No. I also said, can I pretty please have pockets? Because I like pockets. And if I'm getting something tailored, then I'm having pockets put in. The first iteration of that dress did not have pockets. And when I said, could I have the pockets, please? She went, what pockets? But again, it could be a translation issue. I could be projecting some of these things unfairly because she had us ordering in English. And that, convenience-wise, considering we're tourists, you really have to admire that. That is above and beyond on the service. Overall, though, we got a suit out of it. It's a really nice suit. I got my dress out of it, and it's a really nice dress. I put it in the wash when I was told not to, but it's fine. It's just had the odd little bit of fraying here and there. I should not have nice things. The price was reasonable. It wasn't dirt cheap, and it shouldn't have been. I think my dress was maybe 60, and I'd obviously bought the fabric. Those prices, you go, okay, the fabric plus the labour, it's maybe equivalent to buying something from a nice shop in the UK, but it's tailored to me. I'm glad that I didn't chuck a load of things at them to be like, oh yeah, make me this, that and the other. I just don't think I would have been happy, because again, we were on a limited budget. I mean, everyone's on a limited budget at all times, but we were on a particularly limited budget then because we had to survive for months. But we got some really nice stuff out of it, and I'm glad that we had that experience. I should mention that when we got the clothes back, there were some loose bits of thread, which is not the end of the world at all, but it just kind of affects the first impression. My white dress had a load of marks for the cutting on the inside in particular, and they haven't come out, which is frustrating because that's really nice fabric. And I just yeah, I know it's stuff that they probably put on the fabric to measure it out. It would have been nice, A, if they'd washed them out, and B, if they could have been washed out in the first place, because if it hasn't come out with me being relatively rough putting it in the wash with fabric cleaner and stuff, I mean, how's it going to come out? I don't understand it. It's probably all over France's suit, but you can't tell because it's darker material. That was a bit disappointing. She did a very good job with the tailoring. I cannot complain about that. I don't know how to fix it. I guess I could bleach it, but it's kind of a creamy white colour. That's not ideal, is it? I'd forgotten about that particular one until just now, actually. What's the point of having a piece of clothing that I'm not going to enjoy? And I'm no longer a bride, now I'm just somebody's mother. I have nice things and abuse them too. I think the best thing for me to do is make my own clothes and then find it difficult and then chill out a bit when getting other people to make them, or just buying them from ethically sourced places. I think that's probably the best overall sequence of events. So I think you and I are going to have to work out how to use that sewing machine. But what we have now that I didn't have when starting this journey, ChatGPT, I reckon that might chuck just enough information at me to maybe help. Would I recommend tailoring in Vietnam? Bear in mind that we were in Ho Chi Minh City, and the tailoring area of Vietnam is more up north, so Hanoi, Hoi An, that sort of area. We didn't go there. I really would like to go there, especially if that hot chocolate shop is further north as well. That's something to look into. I feel like recently I've been leaving you with all sorts of philosophical conundrums. The prices that we paid I don't think were unfair. I think we would have paid a lot more had we done that at home. So that way is a good deal. But because we didn't have very much money, it felt like it had to be a conscious decision to do. So, I mean, you can get tailored clothes. Maybe don't do it in white material that you care about, or you might regret it. Suit's nice. But it's a fun experience getting something tailored to you because you feel really fancy. Do you want to get all of your clothes tailored? If you're going to spend the same amount of money on a wardrobe and have a holiday out of it, getting it from probably the source and cutting out the middleman. But you do have to deal with some language barriers and expectation barriers as well. That's the payoff. And it is a fun holiday. I don't regret it at all. Just feel, in retrospect, a little bit sad about the dress. If anyone wants to tell me how to get these stains really easily out of the white fabric, then please do go ahead. Make me feel stupid, but I would definitely appreciate that. See you later. Bye.